Hey, what's up? Today we are gonna make 8 Mexican cocktails. These drinks are winners anytime, but with Cinco de Mayo right around the corner, no time could be better. Basically, they're all made with tequila, with the exception of the first drink, which we might as well just get out of the way. So let's get started with drink number 1, the Michelada. So the Michelada is a beer-based drink. This is, again, the only cocktail that isn't gonna have tequila in it. But it has probably the most ingredients out of any of these drinks. To begin, start by sprinkling a little tahini on a plate or a cutting board. Then rim a frozen glass with chamoy sauce. Gently roll the glass in the tahini until it's nice and coated. Then to that, add 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of tomato juice, 2 dashes of Worcestershire sauce, 4 dashes of your favorite hot sauce. I like Cholula. Then add some ice to the glass. This, of course, is optional. Give it a quick stir to just mix everything up, and then top with your favorite Mexican lager. This is going to, get a little foamy, so just be patient. And garnish with the lime wedge. Okay, so yeah, that is the everyday Michelada. The ice takes up a little bit of room. If you want more beer in there, use less ice. I'm not gonna be tasting these. At the end, we're gonna have Aaron taste all of them, so I'm just gonna set this aside, and we will get on to drink number 2, which obviously we've got to do a margarita. What could be more Mexican than a margarita? This is probably the cocktail that's ordered more than any other drink, especially on Cinco de Mayo. Start with your mixing tin, and to that add 2 ounces of Reposado Tequila, 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, and then finally 1 ounce of Cointreau. Add some ice, then give it a nice solid shake for about 10 seconds. Add some ice to a lowball glass, and then strain the shaken cocktail over the ice. Garnish with a lime wedge, and that is a classic lime margarita. This is your, basic template, simple, fresh, clean, 3 ingredients, shaken, icy cold. Honestly, I don't think it gets any better than that. But we've got to move on to the next drink, so I'm going to set this aside, and we will get on to drink number 3, which is the blood orange basil ranch water. All right, ranch waters have been hugely popular over the last few years. They're super simple. At its core, it's basically just tequila, lime juice, soda water, and the soda has to be a Topo Chico brand soda water, which is what we're going to use today. And there's lots of different variations on it, so this is the one that we're going for today. We are going to go with blood orange and basil. Start with a mixing glass and then drop in 6 to 8 basil leaves, then 2 ounces of blood orange juice, 2 ounces of silver tequila, top it all off with ice, then give it a brisk shake, and the shaking is going to help bring out the oils from the basil. Then we want to make sure we double strain the ingredients into a lowball glass. We don't want any basil in our teeth. Fill it halfway with crushed ice. Then it's time for the Topo Chico. We just want to fill the glass all the way to the top. Garnish with a nice fresh sprig of basil, and that's it. And that is the blood orange and basil ranch water. I have not tasted this yet. This looks like something that would cool you down on a hot day in Texas. We gotta move fast though, so on to the next drink. And that is drink number 4, the Paloma. Now the history on the Paloma is a little bit unclear. We do know that it originated back in the 1950s, somewhere in Mexico. And traditionally it is a tequila drink that is made with grapefruit soda. I like to use fresh ingredients, so with mine we're going to be using fresh grapefruit and agave to balance off the tartness. We are going to start with a mixing tin and then add 2 ounces of silver tequila, 1/2 ounce of agave nectar, 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, and 3 ounces of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. Then add your ice, then give it a brisk shake, but only for about 5 seconds because we just want to mix the ingredients. Then ice up a Collins or a highball glass of your liking, and then strain the contents into the glass. And we're going to top it with the Topo Chico we already opened. And then garnish with a nice fresh slice of grapefruit. And that is a Paloma, the way I like to make it. Got it a little over full. I'll just mix it up with the straw, and there you go. All right, on to the next one. Drink number 5, El Diablo. Now the El Diablo is not as common as like a margarita or a Paloma, but it was one of the first, if not the first, tequila cocktail on record. It first appeared in 1946 in Trader Vic's A Bartender's Guide, but it was called the Mexican Diablo. And then later in another book, he changed the name to the El Diablo. Again, we're gonna need a mixing tin for this cocktail, and we'll begin with 1.5 ounces of Reposado Tequila. Then we're going to add 1/2 ounce of the cassis, 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice, add some ice, and then pack that in there and give it a nice solid shake for about 15 seconds. Add some ice to a highball glass and strain the cocktail over the ice. This should fill it about halfway. Now it's time for the ginger beer. We're gonna fill it all the way to the top, about 3 ounces. Garnish with a lime wedge and a straw. And that is the El Diablo. So yeah, kinda dark. The cassis seems to add a lot of color to that, so I'm sure the tartness plays against the sweetness of the ginger beer. But we'll put this aside to taste for later, and we'll move on to drink number 6, the Oaxaca Old Fashioned. All right, the Oaxaca Old Fashioned is one of my favorites. It is a modern riff on the classic Old Fashioned, only it uses Reposado Tequila and mezcal. So it's got that smoky component and it's got a lot of agave spirit. It's a great mezcal drink for people who are just starting to, enjoy the spirit. This drink is stirred, so we'll need a mixing glass. To that, we're gonna add 1.5 ounces of Reposado Tequila, 1/2 ounce of Joven mezcal, 1 bar spoon or a teaspoon of agave nectar, and 2 dashes of cocoa or chocolate bitters. I like to crack some ice and add that to the mixing glass, then give it a stir to chill and dilute, and then into an old-fashioned glass, drop a nice big ice lump and strain the cocktail off over the top. Cut a nice swath of orange peel. We're gonna flame that over the cocktail. I did not do a good job because my orange was old. Garnish the drink, and there is the modern classic. Very few people were drinking mezcal that I remember before this drink really hit the scene. It's one of those cocktails that kind of changed the game, I think, honestly. Anyway, we gotta move fast, so on to the next drink. Drink number 7, the Old Mexican. And this is a fairly obscure one, but it is delicious. It is a cocktail that's a riff on the Old Cuban, but instead of using rum, we're using tequila. And it's got also the addition of cocoa bitters, which really changes the drink altogether. To begin, we will need a mixing tin, and to that we will add 1 ounce of silver tequila, 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed lime, and next we'll need some 1-to-1 ratio turbinado sugar. We're gonna add 1/2 ounce to the mixing tin, and then 4 dashes of cocoa or chocolate bitters. Now it's time to add the fresh mint. We're gonna add 4 to 5 mint leaves to the mixing tin, then fill it up with ice, then give it a nice good hard shake. We wanna pulverize those mint leaves in. Double strain the contents into a coupe glass. We wanna make sure none of those mint bits get in our teeth. And then with a sparkling wine of your choice, just top the cocktail off. And we still got some mint left, so garnish with a nice healthy sprig of mint. One of the garnishes I've seen with this is a dried rosebud, and that's how I used to serve it. I couldn't get my hands on any of those, but the mint works perfectly fine. You don't even have to add the mint because there's enough mint oil in the drink. With that being said, let's get to the final cocktail. Cocktail number 8, the Mexican coffee. Had to put a coffee drink into this mix, so why not? And don't confuse it with the Carajillo. That's a completely different drink. This is tequila with coffee liqueur, specifically Cholula, and topped with whipped cream and cinnamon. And it's super easy to make. I figured, let's do it. First thing you want to do is temper the glass because we're going to be building the cocktail, so make sure that's nice and hot. Then add 1 ounce of silver tequila straight to the glass. Then follow that up with 1 ounce of Cholula. Fill the glass with coffee, but make sure you leave a little room at the top because we got to save room for the best part here. That is whipped cream. Grate some fresh cinnamon over the top and garnish with the cinnamon stick you used. Anyway, that's it. That is the 8th drink, so let's line them up and Erin's gonna taste them. We're gonna see how I did.
Michelada. Michelada. Well, I already know I like micheladas.
It's all good.
In Idaho, we call those red beers.
Red beers in Idaho. Okay. Margarita.
Margarita. That's delicious. It's exactly how I like my margaritas.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too tart?
Not for me. It's perfect margarita. Ranch water. Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it just tastes like tequila and water.
Ranch water.
It tastes like ranch water.
Do you taste any of the...
Well, I can taste the blood orange a little bit and the basil more than the blood orange. Paloma?
The Paloma.
Okay.
The Paloma.
And I love grapefruit. It's one of my favorites. It's delicious. This is probably how I would prefer it because I don't really like soda. So.
Yeah. Here is the El Diablo.
El Diablo. Okay. Oh, it's the ginger beer. I was like, what is that flavor? That's pretty good.
Do you get the cassis? A little bit of the berry kind of brightness and the tartness from the currants? Yeah?
It's a good drink.
Okay. Oaxaca Old
This
Fashioned.
is not my style.
It's moving fast. You're going to be drunk by the end of this.
No, I won't. Is this mezcal?
That's mezcal and tequila. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, not an Aaron drink. I don't
No?
like smoky.
Smoky. Okay.
So I don't like mezcal.
Not for
Because
you,
of the
but smoky
smokiness.
for sure.
Not an
You
Aaron
bet.
drink. Smoky for sure. But I could see why people would like that drink. I
Okay.
like mezcal. It's just not my thing.
Okay. All right.
The old Mexican.
Yeah, the old Mexican.
All right.
Not to be confused with the young Mexican.
That's not bad. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely taste the mint, but isn't that the point? Don't you want to taste the mint?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. I like it. Mexican coffee.
The whipped cream's
This will be
melting.
embarrassing because it'll probably end up all over my nose, but oh well.
Do you want a straw?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's on your nose.
I know I said that. It's probably what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Delicious.
What do you get from it? What's the first thing you get? You can smell cinnamon.
Cinnamon and a little chocolatey, a little bit.
Chocolatey from the Kahlua, maybe
Uh-huh.
a little
Yeah,
bit of that.
but
Okay.
just like it's real subtle, the chocolate
Okay.
flavor.
Okay. So how'd we do? Pretty good.
I think we did good.
Are they good drinks for Cinco de Mayo?
They're great drinks for Cinco de Mayo.